What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Fit Social Podcast. Hope everyone had a good week. It's been a hell of a week for me. So, one thing about me, I'm terrible with movie watching. I never really pay attention to movies the first time I see them, but I do love reruns, so I can catch, some of the details that I may have missed, golden nuggets, etc. And so I saw a movie last week that I really liked when it first came out. It's called Pacific Rim. And Pacific Rim came out in 2013. It was directed by a guy named Guillermo del Toro. It has an interesting cast, includes Idris Elba, two other people, Charlie Hunnam, Rinko Kikuchi. Not the most well-known cast, but besides Idris. But, the premise of the movie was that there are these creatures called kaiju, and they are at the epicenter of an apocalypse on planet Earth. And kaiju, they're these giant monsters, very similar in size to Godzilla, if not bigger. And they appear out of the Pacific Ocean. They cause destruction in major cities such as San Francisco and Manila in the Philippines. Those are the two cities they mentioned. But the humans in this movie are clearly in a predicament. And what they decide to do to solve their problem is that they build these machines that are humanoid in form. And this is kind of a similar concept to the Zords of Power Rangers for you 90s kids that remember Power Rangers. And these machines, they need to be piloted by humans. And each of the machines have different features and weapons that give them unique advantages in battle. The pilots in this movie must become connected with the machine. Man and machine, they act as one entity. And so to be a good pilot, they have to have battle simulations and actual battle experience. But this synchronization of man as a pilot and with machine, it must happen to be suitable for battle. The reason I bring this up is because I want you to look at yourself in the same way. In your brain as the pilot and your body as the machine, two separate entities, one collective organism, taking you through the battlefield of life. And just like any other machine, you can optimize it, you can upgrade it. But not everyone is granted the same machine to start with, and each comes with its challenges, but it's up to the pilot to become one with the machine. So let me bring this to cars, because most of us had a disappointing car at some point that doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And let's say this is my first car. It was beat up, started shaking violently when I tried to go faster than I should have been going. Check engine light was on perpetually. It was a crappy car. But could you expect that car to perform like a Lamborghini? No, obviously. But one thing that I know plenty of us have seen before is that even a Honda can be made to perform better with the right upgrades. Like, for example, an NOS or nitric oxide system. This is a gas that some car enthusiasts, they use to increase the horsepower that their car can exhibit with a brief burst of power. And so when you activate this on your car, the speed of your car can increase dramatically while driving for, a few brief moments. And this is often employed in drag racing scenarios like in The Fast and the Furious, if you guys have seen that movie. But if you install an NOS on a Honda, you can turn your Honda into a rocket if you wanted to. But the key here is that this is called a nitrous oxide system. In order to get it to work, there is some infrastructure that you have to add, plumbing, as well as electrical infrastructure that will allow you to control when you turn it on or off. And without the plumbing, without the electrical, you just have a container of nitrous oxide that doesn't really do much for you. It must be a systemic upgrade for the car to perform at that level, because the original system does not have the systemic infrastructure to perform at that level, or else you wouldn't have needed the NOS in the first place. Now, how does this relate to you? Because all of us, we're granted our bodies as biological machines, and we are the stewards of these machines. Fortunately for us, upgrades can be made by having more life experience. Like if you wanted to upgrade your physical performance in certain activities, you could go to a gym, and then over time with the right nutrition, your performance can get better. You can get stronger. But nothing happens without that internal infrastructure being created, just like the NOS system in the Honda. And the appearance of your individual machine, i.e. your body, it becomes more streamlined and more optimized with the more stuff that it can now do. Think of a Lamborghini, much more optimized for speed and horsepower than a Honda, right? Just saying. So what do I mean by internal infrastructure as it relates to you? So think about an endurance trained body. A lot of people don't know this, but endurance training in general stimulates increases in the number of tiny blood vessels that thread into the muscle that will help you run. But that takes time to develop. This is circulatory infrastructure. It's the same as plumbing. Imagine this as like side roads that branch off of main highways. Like in the DMV, I live in Maryland, we have I-95, and then there are smaller roads that branch off into smaller neighborhoods. It's much easier to get an Amazon package into a smaller neighborhood when you have smaller roads that can access them, right? It's much easier to get oxygen and nutrients to supply muscles if you stimulate the development of these tiny roads for your blood. Or else, how will you get oxygen to where it needs to be? How you get nutrients to where it needs to be. And the better you want to perform, the more oxygen and nutrients you need. And that's what's going to give you your look. Like some endurance trained runners can run a mile in 4 minutes. And just like the NOS system in the Honda, you aren't doing that without installing the right plumbing, i.e. the tiny blood vessels that permeate your muscles that allow you to perform at a level that will allow you to run a mile in 4 minutes in the first place. Same thing with strength. Many of the strength gains that people will gain initially when they start working out, they come from the optimization of the neuromuscular connection, which stimulates your muscles to contract better and with more force as you train. This must happen first before you experience gains in strength that are solely due to muscle growth. It is another systemic change. All of this is to say, a lot of people who give up on their fitness goals, they do so while those internal systemic infrastructures are still being built within them because it feels hard to maintain the lifestyle, and they aren't seeing the manifestation on the outside, and they don't understand that it's because you have not fully realized that internal systemic infrastructure that you absolutely need to develop first in order to perform at a level that will cause your body to have to adapt and become more streamlined and optimized in form. You won't see these internal changes on the surface, but they might manifest as what? Better reaction time, lower resting heart rate, better blood pressure, reduced recovery time. Like, these are the signs that your body is improving. But you need to understand that this must happen first and that it takes time. And assuming no catastrophic illness with your machine, all of us have the ability to upgrade. And it just takes time, and the amount of time will vary with the individual because not everybody is granted the same machine to start with. Each comes with its challenges, but it's up to the pilot to become one with the machine. And as stewards of a biological machine, you accomplish this through exercise, nutrition, and then when you need repairs or you need to understand your body metrics better, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, etc., where do you go? To a mechanic, i.e. your doctor. Many of you are not seeing the results that you want as you exercise because you haven't given your body the time to develop the internal infrastructures that you actually need to perform at the levels that stimulate the adaptive processes that would give you the body that you envision for yourself. Internal structures such as new blood vessel growth, better neuromuscular connection. Your body does this for you automatically, and it is stimulated by training continuously and encouraged with consistency and nutrition. You may have given up way too soon, and you may not have understood who are the right people that can help you or the right questions to ask them. There was a result at the end of your journey that you started that you didn't get to see because you didn't understand that you have to wait, and you didn't understand why. And you didn't understand your body may have needed a much longer time frame to develop, but that's okay because now you understand. That friend that you saw do it in 3 months may have had a different baseline than you, and you would have reached your goals the last time you tried a fitness routine if you continued it. Your baseline may just not be the same as the person who got the results quick. And that's okay because every machine is different. We are all individuals. You stay the course in order to allow this development to happen because not everybody starts out as an athlete. And if you trust biology, then you can trust the results will happen for you in a way that is unique and specific to you. Just as you can depend on your heart to beat, you can depend on your body to adapt. And your body will adapt at the speed of your individual biology. Just be patient. You're not just developing your body, you're making systemic upgrades. And that takes time. And a new body is simply a byproduct of these upgrades. That being said, that's it for today's podcast. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. I'll catch you all next week. Stay healthy and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.